let's go four-wheeling. Good morning, guys. Guy here. It is December 1st. No, I didn't get a, microphone inside the helmet. I'm actually doing a voiceover for this one because I was wearing my snowmobile helmet, so just gotten sick of basically not having good enough audio quality for any of that stuff because the helmet is so enclosed and the camera hangs off to the front a lot, so I figured it'd be best just to do a voiceover for this run. Which is kind of odd because normally I can hear myself talk to myself when I'm doing these runs. So I'm, talking to you guys when I'm running. So it's kind of interesting having to time up all this stuff with the different scenes that I'm having to work with. So maybe I'll get better at that. But until I find out a better solution, you might see some more voiceover. Here's some more voiceovers on these videos. So right now we are in where we start off. Exit 5A on the 103 highway, I guess the Ingrimport area, so the new exit to Ingrimport from Highway 103. That's where we started off, and a bunch of new construction going in there, so eventually all this area probably is going to be housing or whatever. I don't know, we lose more land every day with, to ride on every day. All Crown land gets bought out by these big companies. Anyway, it's we had some snow, as you can see. It's quite different to run through the woods this time of year because you never know what you're going to get into. It's cold enough to ice over the water holes, but not enough to actually freeze solid. So it's getting kind of hard on the bike running through some of these watery holes with the big, thick chunks of ice. You'll see that later on in this video. But there's about 8 of us today. The route we're going to take is from exit 15, exit 5A. To Panuke Lake, which is just outside of Windsor area. So a lot of these bridges that you see, I believe it is the doings of the Safety-Minded ATV Association. This seems to be more towards like their area of trail that they like to run on, or that they kind of maintain around the St. Margaret's Bay area. And all up through here, so I don't, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe that a lot of those bridges being built there are because of the ATV club. I do know that snowmobile clubs do work down this way as well, but I'm not completely sure. So I just like to give credit where credit is due, because I'm certainly not out there every day building these bridges, but there's organizations that are out there such as Safety-Minded, Metro District, there's just so many ATV clubs that are available to join up who do this kind of work on a weekly basis to be able to provide better trailability, I guess. I'm using a Yamaha term there, I guess, trailability, in order to make these trail passings possible. Yeah, very rocky section through here. This area of the trail, some of you might be familiar. It's funny because when I do these videos and I look back, everything seems a little bit different because seasons change. But you've seen this bridge here before in one of the previous videos. I believe it was a Safety-Minded ATV rally I was on at the time, and a fella did a burnout in the end of the bridge here. Anyway, it's a beautiful section of a trail here. And I know that the associations have done quite a bit of work when it comes to fixing up this area of the trail. I remember years and years ago going through this trail, that bridge there that you see, that truss bridge, I can't remember if it was a wooden bridge that was there at that one time, and this section of trail was just so tightly enclosed and it was all swamp and rock that It was very hard to get through, and as you rounded this corner to go up to this hill, it was really narrow, and it was pretty roddy and rooty, and it was hard to get through, but it appears that somebody had gone through here with an excavator at one point and smoothed out all this and widened this section of trail out. So, yeah, it's pretty nicely done. Nice work to it. And then this area through here, they remained nice and tightly wooded area. I like that type of running. You'll notice that there's going to be some spots later on here in the video that I don't know if I'd want to put a side-by-side through. You'll see up through here that some of these trails haven't either been ridden in a while or just the snowfall had broken a lot of branches and trees down in the way, so there's quite a bit of time, or quite a few times through this run, I found myself banging and smashing my head off of off of trail obstacles just because they're there and you really don't want to run. We weren't there to do trail maintenance, so we didn't want to take down all of it. Although we did do a little bit of trail maintenance. We did bust the saws out, I think once or twice or something like that, just to get by a couple logs that had fallen down or out of the way. So you can see that bike up ahead of him just stopped dead, and then there's a bit of a mix-up where the two of them had some collision going on there because they didn't know they were that close behind each other. I know we got hung up on a log, and it stopped him dead. Those guys are brothers up there. Anyway, we had to pop a light back into place, but it really wasn't too bad. It's pretty disgusting sometimes. I look back at some of these videos, and especially the trails I used to travel on as a kid. Just look at the devastation because of forestry. Like, yes, I support the forestry industry, but there's better ways of doing it than this. There's one section of this trail here, the trail chopping, that they had taken out part of the road, either for drainage or just to not allow other people back here. I'm not quite sure the reason. Anyway, we had to blaze our own trail up and around here to get by that little section. That's when it pays off to have a tight turning radius on an ATV. Trust me, running an ATV without power steering through all this stuff gets pretty tough on the shoulders at the end of the day. It's the next day. It's December 2nd today, and I'm recording it, and I'm sore.
press that one to walk inside.
So we're coming up on the 12-minute mark here now. There's still, I'm looking at my track list. I still got quite a few tracks to go on here. I do try to make my videos 15 to 20 minutes long, as I've been getting some complaints from some of my viewers saying that my videos are way too long. And, you know, I make these videos and post them on YouTube for you guys, absolutely 100%. But this is a good run. And you know what? I make videos for myself, too. I like going back and watching some of my adventures and times I spend with my good friends and riding buddies and stuff like that. So, you know what? I'll make no apologies for, you know, a longer video on YouTube. If you're like me, I do the same thing. If I'm watching somebody else's video, just scroll ahead. If you see something interesting, stick to that part of the video. If not, just scroll ahead. Nothing's stopping you. No, but I've gotten some complaints. I find it funny. Yeah, I can see there's another down log back there, down across the trail. And there's no way that we were going to touch it with the saws. You can see there was quite a bit of deadfall here from the last couple storms that came through. So a lot of it's been cleaned out, but that one must have been pretty recent.
That's how slow and hot we're getting here. Gas is venting right out of that tube. Oh, that's never a good sign when the seat comes off. Never a good sign when the seat comes off, eh?
First time in a long time I caught myself saying A. Total Canadian. Head here, see that little Honda 350 4x4 that was traveling with us? Well, that thing lost four-wheel drive before the run, mind you. We just running this whole thing in two-wheel drive, so kudos for the young fellow who's running that. He's doing real good on that bike. But this is the real disaster up here. Electrical problems. Just came down off that rock and no power. By the way, always carry a test light with you, because that diagnosed our problems, along with the good eye of one of the riders we were with.
Let's do some field surgery here. No dash or nothing.
So roughly about, I'd say, 40 minutes later, we had the problem solved. We found the problem and we fixed it. I had some spare wires, spare electrical parts, wire connectors, butt connectors, shrink tubing. I always carry all that kind of stuff with me out in the trail. And it proved its weight in gold today. So, yeah, you'll see, first startup. That was a relief. Again, this shows here, depending on what type or whereabouts in the province you were when we had all that snow, you either got a little bit of snow, rain, or a lot of snow. This area here had a lot of snow. little 350. That thing was right up past the muffler there for a minute, so. And that all that chunked up ice at the end of there, and he's only got 2-wheel drive, so again, kudos on him. Give him a little thumbs up there, just say good job. Yeah, if you just heard that little snap, that was a backfire, a mini backfire from my bike. These old Grizzly 660s, big cylinder in them. They had 2 exhaust cylinder and 3 intakes. Two exhaust valves and 3 intake valves. And every once in a while, if you're on and off the gas, kind of pumping the fuel, just going down a hill like that, and it's got some back pressure built up, it'll let off what's known in the community, the Grizzly community, as a what they call it, a Grizzly Fart, because it just kind of it's funny actually. If anybody's behind me and say, "What the hell was that?" Well, it was a backfire, but it's got a pretty honking big muffler on the thing, so that's usually all the sound that comes out of it. So that body of water you seen off in that last clip was actually Lake Panuke. We drive right across, or right parallel to the lake lengthways, where there's a bunch of cottages and things like that on there. So we're actually on the way back here now, and from here on in, there's going to be a lot of road running. So I didn't really, record a lot of that, just because I find long periods of road running is pretty boring, even for me on the bike. So it still is a nice section of trail through here, though. So here we're coming up on the Windmill Firms. It still always impresses me, the size, the sheer mass of these things. You know, you see them from the roadway and you don't think they're that big until you're absolutely right underneath the thing. You know, there's bolts on the bottom end of those bases that bolt them onto the concrete support that are like as big as my coffee table. So it's pretty impressive to see right up close. Hey guys, we're coming along to the home stretch here, so I'm going to say adieu for the time being. Thank you for joining me on this run. I see we're just over about 21, 22 minutes, so hey, I didn't go that far over. So yay, no complaints. Well, I'm sure that I'm going to get complaints about something. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining me on this run, fellas. My name is RyGuy8888. If you do like these types of videos, please do like, comment, and subscribe. For those who are subscribed, the reason why you're not seeing my videos pop up when they do is you need to go and hit the little bell icon to say that you want to get notifications from me when I post videos. YouTube in their infinite wisdom came up with that system, and it's garbage. So anyway, once again, thanks for joining me on this run. We'll see you guys out on the trail again. Hopefully I'll be out again soon. Thanks a lot. Raga out.
Anxiety taking over me, I can't be the only one left. No.